Hey, it's Riel, and this is my dog Simba. He'll be joining us today. So in celebration of the acoustic version of Redemption being up on streaming platforms today, I wanted to do a different type of video since the acoustic version's already been up on my channel for like more than a year now, so you might have already seen it. If you haven't, you should go check that out. But today I wanted to do a Genius style type video, and basically Genius brings on songwriters and they explain the meaning behind their songs and the meaning behind their lyrics. And I love that as a songwriter. Not nearly important enough to be on Genius, but it's 2021, I have a phone, I can upload to YouTube, so I figured let's do our own style of Genius. And if you guys like it, maybe I can do other songs in the future if you're interested in knowing what they're about. So let's do Redemption today. Let's go. So this song started as a collab 2 years ago, and it was released almost 2 years ago with Bezomorph and Coupex. It started as they gave me the track, and then I wrote the lyrics and the melody for the song. And if I had to describe the song in one word, Redemption, in one sentence, it would be unresolved childhood trauma and the effect it has on present and future relationships. I think overall it doesn't necessarily have to be childhood for other people, but it's just how situations have been really hard for you and have changed you, how that affects how you connect with people and how you choose the people who are in your life. So let's break down the lyrics. Verse 1. You say I make you nervous, a tragedy, I'm a beautiful disaster, a reckoning, you wonder how I got this way. You think I'm someone to be saved, someone to clean up and tame. Oh, some things never change, never change. It's based off of this thing that I've seen a lot, and I'm not a psychologist, so don't quote me on this research or whatever, but they were saying that people with childhood trauma specifically, and maybe other types of trauma, I don't know, they often are finding themselves drawn to narcissistic partners or like really toxic people because it feels like home, which is not great. But basically it's like being drawn to these people with God complexes or hero complexes who think you're like some damsel where you're like, oh, I see this darkness inside you and I will save you. You think I would look pretty on your arm once you cover my bruises and battle scars, but it always ends the same. Can't bear the things I've had to face, got you crying on your knees in pain. Oh, some things never change, never change. This part of the verse builds on that first part of this person who thinks they can save you, who thinks they can just cover up your trauma and like make you some perfect like person to be with, because they're not really into like you, they're into, like as narcissists do, they try to like change their partner, be the center of their world, build them up to break them down so that their self-worth is completely reliant on them. So that's that type of person. And basically this verse is being like, okay, like I see you're that type of person, but like I'm not someone to be saved, like I'm not broken, I'm not anything. And obviously looking back on this song 2 years from having written it, and I'm in a much better place than I was then, and I've resolved a lot of the things that this song was originally about. Like I've unpacked it, done my work on that. But this part is basically saying it's feeling misunderstood when people don't understand how hard things have been and they try to like underplay it for you and stuff like that. So it's a combination of being like, you can't save me, like you don't even understand me, and like kind of getting like angry about that almost. You'll break your back to make me feel again, suffocate to make me breathe again, lose your mind from endless praying. So the chorus is about that anger I talked about before coming through, and it's basically like, who the frick do you think you are to think that like I need to be saved? Like I've been through a lot, I'm very independent, like I'm not weak, I'm strong, so like I don't need you to save me, and you're gonna like destroy yourself trying, basically is what the chorus is about. In addition to that, there's also the side where a lot of people who have a lot of stuff to work on internally, which was definitely me when I wrote this song, they can often also try to save other people, where they want to help people and find their value in like being worth something to others. So it's also a reminder that like when people have like an internal struggle and trauma, you can support people, but you can't save people. Like, people save themselves in the internal world. Like, you definitely can have help through your support network, through therapy, through everything else, but it has to be their choice and it's their journey. So this chorus is kind of saying to someone like, bro, like, this is my journey. Like, you can help me and I would appreciate that, but you can't save me, you can't fix me. Nah. It's also a reminder to myself, you can't save others. Like, you're not God, you're not, you know.
Some things never change, never change. Oh, redemption never came.
So this line comes up a lot through the song. A lot of people actually think the song is called Some Things Never Change, which I totally get. And back in when I wrote this, what this meant to me is basically like, after so many years of like pushing all these feelings down, it's like, this is how I am and I'm happy with it and don't change me, I'm fine. 2 years later, after having like unpacked a lot of this stuff, I'm like, yeah, you still can't change me. I changed myself, but like, that's kind of what this line is.
I stopped asking for forgiveness, 'cause you should know only fools tread where the angels fear to go, but you keep trying to get too close. Save myself by turning into stone. So save your judgment, 'cause you just don't know. But some things never change, never change.
So this second verse is kind of more of a, takes a sad turn, where it's basically just like, you know what, maybe I will never like feel 100%, like maybe I'm just meant to like live in this darkness, which like I still love the whole dark vibe, totally my thing. I love it still, but now I love it like in a more healthy way. Back when I wrote this song, it was basically being like, you know what, like maybe I'll never be understood, maybe no one will ever understand what I went through, but at this point, like, I'm not gonna feel guilty about it. Like, the quote that I used here is, the only fools tread where the angels fear to go, and I borrowed that from a very old English philosopher, but it's basically like saying, you know what, like, now I'm going into like villainous bad bitch energy.
They say I should feel guilty and change my ways, leaving crumpled bodies in my wakes where I didn't mean to make them break. But they're so delicate and so mundane, and they keep coming like a moth to flame. Oh, some things never change, never change. Oh.
This point, things just kind of break apart. Like, there's no way to have a healthy relationship, even like platonic, romantic, whatever. There's just no way to have that without bringing something healthy to the table on both ends. And I mean, I definitely wasn't 2 years ago. The people I was with definitely weren't 2 years ago either. So that's kind of how this ends, is basically like, things will fall apart, nothing works out when you have unresolved stuff, is basically what this verse meant when I wrote it. So that's redemption. I guess it would have meant actually a little bit different if I had described it when I wrote it. In hindsight, obviously things change because you learn and you grow. But I still am really proud of this song. It still means a lot to me, having had written this song and having it resonate with so many of you guys. I know it means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, and I love that, because to be honest, like, this song is pretty open-ended. It's just the feeling of some sort of darkness, some sort of like pain, and that's really all the song was supposed to get across, was like a pain but a strength mixed in with like turmoil. It's kind of just like, it's a whole vibe of like, I don't even know how to describe it. So I want you to interpret this however it works for you guys. But yeah, that's kind of where I was coming from and where I'm at with it now. I hope you guys liked this. If you're still here, thank you. This took forever. But yeah, if you guys want more of these types of videos, let me know in the comments, or if you want a specific song, let me know.